All right, so welcome. Sunday night. We are here to enjoy relaxation and a gentle bit of movement. Hi, Kareem, nice to see you. Let's come into supported shavasana to start, just to connect with the breath. So finding your bolster, bringing it under the knees. It's a great place to start in any yoga class, whether it's strong class or a gentle class. You can either have your feet apart with the heels on the mat, or you can bring the soles of your feet together if you like, sort of like in a diamond-shaped legs. And we're just going to take our hands and place them on the belly also in like a triangle shape. So your forefingers are touching and your thumbs are touching. And you're just placing your navel in the center of the space of the triangle that you're making here with your hands. Now, if your elbows don't rest on the ground, you can take your blocks and place them under your elbows so that you can relax your arms while you're resting your hands on your belly. So you'll just find that a lot more relaxing. You don't have to hold your arms up. And then just relaxing the hands in that position on the navel. Close your eyes and just take some nice gentle breath here. Excuse me. Thumb tips are touching, forefingers are touching. And start to begin to bring the breath more into your belly so that you're feeling, as you're inhaling, the belly expands and the fingertips and the thumb tips come apart a little bit. And as you exhale and the belly softens down, the fingers and thumbs come back together. Just slowly inviting a few belly breaths here to invite our body, our mind, our nervous system to move into that parasympathetic healing mode. You can feel the movement in the belly as you're inhaling, the fingers coming apart slightly when you breathe in and then coming back together when you exhale. And as you're doing the belly breath, just noticing if there's any place in your face where you're holding tension, maybe the forehead or around the eyes, perhaps the jaw. And just let that soften a little bit. So just consciously softening the places that are sometimes tense or held. We'll take a ha breath here. Inhale through the nose and exhale a beautiful sigh. Good. Just go ahead and reach the arms up overhead, straightening the legs and stretch from fingertips to toe tips. Reach the hands away from the feet. Get your body nice and long. Stretch, stretch, stretch. Reach, reach, reach. And then go ahead and draw the knees into the chest. Just giving a loose hug. We can rock a little side to side. If the blocks were beside you, you might move those so that they're not in your way when you rock. Just gently rocking the back from left to right. And just stay conscious with your breath. Let it flow. Let it be smooth and even, deep and long. So fully oxygenating as we go. Good. And then we're going to go ahead and extend the legs up and just do some slow bicycling here to increase the venous return to the heart. So bicycling the legs in the air, like slow motion, like you're pushing the pedals upside down underwater in slow motion. And this is just increasing lymphatic flow in the legs, bringing it back down to the heart. You can always support your hands underneath your buttocks if you need to support your low back. That can make it more comfy. If you feel any kind of strain on your low back, just use your hands under there to support. And then reverse your bicycling, go backwards, go the other way. Backing the bike up. Beautiful. And then release the left leg down, hug your right knee in. And just use your left foot to push the bolster down to the foot of your mat so it's not in your way. And then give the right knee a little bit of a hug here. You can circle the right ankle. Get a little squeeze. And then go ahead and extend the right leg up towards the ceiling. Flex the foot, and then point the toes. Flex the foot, point the toes, just holding the right leg with the hands to support. And point and flex. And then circle the right ankle in the air. Just taking a couple of deep breaths here. Go the other way. And as you exhale, hug the right knee back in, hug it in towards the right shoulder. And as you inhale, extend the leg up again towards the ceiling with the foot flexed, toes pulling down. Do that a couple times with breath. Exhale, hug the knee, give it a squeeze. Inhale, stretch the leg long, pressing up through the heel. And then release the right foot down to the floor with the knee bent. So the sole of the right foot is flat, right beside the knee. Stretch your arms out with the palms facing up. Good. And from here, bring the knee back into the chest. Squeeze your belly in and roll to the left into a twist. So rolling the knee across to the left side. I'm just taking a couple of nice long deep breaths here. Maybe some ha breaths, some sighing to release the shoulder. Feel free to make a little movement while you're here too. You could be going a little deeper into it and then coming out slightly. So going in, coming out. Just kind of playing with your edge there. Remember, the knee doesn't have to go all the way down, by no means. In fact, I'd rather have you focus on keeping your right shoulder closer to the mat. What I do when I'm ranging here is I range between the right shoulder being flat on the mat and then bringing the knee down. The shoulder comes up slightly, but then I put it back down on the mat. So just kind of playing with that edge where the right shoulder's connecting with the floor. Good. And then gently release and come back to center. Release the right leg down and hug left knee in. Twists, especially those laying spinal twists, are really good if you've been sitting. So if you've been sitting at work all day, or if you've been driving, or just sitting in general, twists are really a good way to kind of untangle or unravel this long hours sitting. So just hugging left knee in. We can circle the ankle a little. Relax your shoulders, deepen your breath. Good. Go ahead and extend the left leg up, support behind the left thigh. Flex the foot and then point the foot. Just moving between those two, flex and point. Circle the ankle. Remember to let the breath flow deep and long. And go around the other way. Circle in reverse. And on our exhale, we'll hug the left knee in, give it a squeeze. Inhale, straighten the leg, flex the foot, press up through the heel. Stretching the back of the leg. Exhale to hug the knee back into the left shoulder. Good, nice. Inhale to stretch up. Good, exhale to hug in. Okay, beautiful. And then release the left foot down, stretch your arms out. Actually, we'll keep the left foot lifted. I was going to do a version where we put the left foot on the mat. Keep the left foot lifted and then roll it over to the right, coming into the twist. And again, think about the relationship between the left shoulder and the mat rather than thinking about how far down the knee goes. So just moving a little bit in and out, kind of rolling a little bit side to side. So you can feel the shoulder lift a little, but then going back, you let the shoulder land on the floor and then lifting and then rolling. Just to kind of play with that edge there. Deepen the breath if you've left the breath behind. Beautiful. And then release. Come back to center. And let's roll onto the left side and make some support for your head. That could be your arm. It could be a block. It could be a bolster. It could be a block with a blanket on top. Something to support your head. Coming into fetal position on the left side, take your right foot into right hand and pull the foot back towards the hip to find a stretch in the front of the right thigh. So as you pull your foot in towards your buttock, you can kind of wiggle around there until you find the stretch in the quad here. And we'll just take a couple of breaths into that nice quad stretch. So really good to do quad stretch of some form if you've been doing any kind of hiking. If you've been getting up early enough in the morning to exercise and go out and do any biking or hiking. So I'm just taking a couple of breaths there. Good. Nice. And then release that right foot and take the right foot in front of the left knee, in front of the left thigh. So it's like a 4 square on our side. So you can adjust the tightness of this. If your left knee is further down, it's less tight. If you walk your left knee and your right foot up, it's going to get stronger. So you're going to feel that in your outer right hip here. And then we're just gently going to put right hand on the right knee to keep it from collapsing down. So you're just gently pressing the knee a little bit away from the face. Take a couple of breaths here, and you may notice that kind of stretching in the outer right hip. Okay, good. And then we're going to take the right hand through the triangle space between the two legs there and see if we can grasp onto the right ankle. You can grab the right ankle or you can grab the outer edge of your foot. It's up to you. And then from there, we're going to try to straighten the leg up. So you can be holding your ankle as you try to straighten the leg, or you can hold the foot, outer edge of the foot, as we move towards straightening the leg. And again, don't worry if it doesn't straighten all the way. We're just moving in that direction. And we're going to take one honeybee breath here. Inhale and hum. Good, and then gently release and roll onto your right side, and we'll do the same thing on the right. Ooh. I'm gonna go this way so that I can still see. Laying on the right side, we'll do the quad stretch first, so holding the left foot with left hand and then pulling the foot in towards the buttock, finding the quad stretch here. You'll breathe into that. Some nice ha breath. It's kind of nice to do the quad stretch laying down on our side rather than doing it, say, standing, or even the one on the belly can be a little bit trickier. Okay, good, and then release and take that left foot in front of the right knee. So the sole of your left foot's flat on the mat, If you want to go deeper, you're walking the knee and the foot up a little bit. Place the left hand on the knee and then just gently press it away from your face. Take a couple breaths there. This doesn't have to be a really strong push, like you have the strength to push harder, but there's a sweet spot there where you just want to help the knee to stay up rather than letting it collapse down, just so you can feel that little bit of stretch in the outer left hip. Let's take a couple breaths here. Good. And then reach the left hand through the triangle space and either grasp around the left ankle or the outer edge of the left foot, and then try to straighten the left leg up. Don't worry if you just get part way. We're moving in that direction, so whatever you can find in your body. And then we'll take a honeybee breath. Inhale. Good. Beautiful. And then gently release. Good. We're going to roll over to the side and walk up to hands and knees and then come into puppy pose. So you can pad the knees with a blanket if you like. Just get a little bit of a stretch into the upper back. So taking the hands wide, the hips stay high, and we're just going to gently bow the forehead to the mat. You can think about the hips sinking a little towards the back wall behind you to create a bit of traction. We'll take 3 ha breaths here. Inhale through the nose, exhale a nice sigh, a smile. So you're really letting your heart sink down, your ribs sink down. Good, and when you're ready to inhale, come forward to baby plank, leaning forward over the hands. And as you exhale, sink back to puppy, almost into child's pose. Inhale as you rock forward into baby plank, and exhale as you sink back. Just moving forward and back here to open up the shoulders, the upper back. Make sure you're drawing your belly in as you transition forward and back. And next time we sink back, let's come all the way into child's pose. So for me, I always have to take the blanket out because it kind of cuts your shin in half and makes it really hard to rest the upper body down. Let's take a side stretch in child. So lift the head, walk your hands over to the left side, and then letting the forehead hang down or letting the forehead rest on the earth. Just take a couple nice breaths into the right side body. Lifting head, walk your hands back to center and over to the right side. And then let the head hang down. Just enough that you can feel a little opening in the left side body. You can breathe into that. One more ha breath here, in through nose, out through mouth. And then lift head and walk back to center. We'll go ahead and come back up to hands and knees, patting the knees once more if you forewent your patting. And stepping right foot forward, we'll come into low lunge here. You can find your blocks and place one hand on each block, just for stability and support, especially when we move into the hamstring stretch. So making sure the back knee is lovely and happily padded. We're going to inhale here in our lunge, lifting up, and then exhale into the hamstring stretch. Flex the front foot and bow forward towards the leg. Inhale, back to the lunge, shifting hips forward and down, lift up through the front body, and exhale, hamstring stretch. Flex the front foot. And we're doing that just a few times with your breath, going at your own speed. You can close your eyes if you want and make this an internal meditation. Good, and then let's come into lizard, coming back into the lunge. Walk your right foot over to the right side of the mat. Bring your hands on the inside. Shifting the hips forward and down. Whatever level of block you need for comfort, high setting, medium or low. And then just letting gravity do the work for you. We'll take a few deep breaths here, just feeling that nice stretch in the front of the left thigh. Beautiful. Good, and then release. We'll step right foot back and bring left foot forward into the lunge. I like blocks on the high setting here, even though I can touch the ground with my fingers. The reason being is it allows me to really lift up on the lunge, so I can really lift the chest as I sink the hips forward and down. This is our inhale breath here in the lunge. Relax your shoulders. Then as you exhale, straighten the front leg, flex the front foot, and bow towards the leg. Inhaling to the lunge, exhaling to the hamstring stretch, and just go ahead with your own flow, with your breath. Just working into that. It's actually working into both hips. Right hip flexor, left hip also. Good, and then moving back into the lunge, come into lizard, walk your left foot to the outside, hands on the inside, shifting hips forward and down. Come as low as you're able here. When you're in lizard and the legs on the outside, you've got more space here for the belly to breathe, so you can come lower without worrying about the constriction of the leg squeezing in your guts. I'll take 3 ha breaths here, just letting the hips melt down. Of course, these hip flexor stretches are helping with the parasympathetic activation, which is our rest and restore mode, helping us to soften into a comfortable sleeping position when we come to laying down in our beds tonight. Yeah, beautiful. Okay, let's bring the left foot back into the center and lift the back knee, step forward to a forward bend. And we'll just do a gentle hang here, so softening the knees a little bit. You can bend your knees and let your upper body hang. Feel free to cross your arms and sway side to side. Shake out the head. If you've just had dinner, you're going to modify by bending your knees and resting your elbows on your thighs. Keeping the head above the heart, above the belly. Beautiful. Okay, and then let's go ahead and walk back to hands and knees and come to seated. We're going to come into deer pose to stretch in the outer hip. So you can come to seated and bring your right leg in front, your left leg in back. So a yin pose here, just to kind of round things out. Flex your foot in the front and the back. Check that your thigh and your shin are parallel to each other. 90-degree bends at the knees, and then folding over the front shin between the ankle and the knee. If that sort of doesn't work for your body, you can modify by putting the right foot against the left knee and folding over the front knee. Either way, we're looking for a stretch in that outer right hip. Let's do a honeybee here. It's also really good for serotonin, melatonin, sleep hormones. Take a nice deep breath in. Just let yourself sink into it here. Breathing into the hip, giving it some time and love and attention. Gently walk yourself up. Do some windshield wipers to release. Good. And then we'll come into the other side. Left leg in front, right leg in back. Checking for 90-degree angles at the joints, shin and thigh parallel. For deer pose, and then we're folding towards the center of the shin with the center of the chest. Or if you're modifying sleeping animal, the foot touching the knee, folding over the front knee. Okay, let's take a nice juicy honeybee breath. Teeth apart, lips together, a long hum. Move into some ha breath here as you marinate. Breathing into the outer left hip now. Creating space. We'll take one more nice deep breath in here. Exhale, let it out. And then we'll go ahead and walk ourselves up. And some windshield wipers again to release. Okay. Things are feeling pretty good here. We've been working to release the stress on a cellular level that will allow us to relax more deeply into our restorative poses. Let's take one little twist before we come into our restorative. So sitting on your blanket edge, stretch your left leg out, cross your right foot over. Flex your straight leg foot, interlace your fingers and sit tall. Draw the shoulders back, lift the chest. Holding the knee with the left hand, reach your right arm up. Inhale here as you stretch up and lengthen the spine, and then exhale as you twist right, dropping the hand back to touch the mat behind you. Softly turning the head, relax your shoulders, draw the low belly in. We'll take a nice little honeybee here with a smile, so deep inhale. Gently untwist back to center. We'll change sides. Stretch the right leg out, cross left foot over. Check that the sole of the foot is flat on the mat. Interlace your fingers, sit tall. Flex the straight leg foot. Looks like my video has frozen. Hopefully the sound is coming through okay. Hold the knee with the right hand, reach your left arm up. Inhale as you lengthen, exhale over the left shoulder for the twist. Just softly turning the head over the left shoulder. Inhale, exhale. Come to laying on your back, just letting the breath slowly flow through you. Feeling the effortlessness of your breath. Allowing your heart to melt down. Do a little tour through the body as we're resting here. You can keep the hands on the belly, or if you prefer, bring your arms to the side. Go ahead and straighten the legs out now so that your heels are on the mat. Feet are slightly apart. Bring your awareness and your attention down to your toes and your feet. And just take a moment to notice how your feet feel. It's a little body scan. Things you can notice are the temperature of your feet. Do they feel cool or warm? Do they feel light or heavy? Maybe there's tingling. Maybe there's comfort, discomfort, or something more neutral. Check in with your lower legs, see how they feel, calves and ankles. Sometimes colors come for some people. Just whatever there is to observe. Move your awareness up into your knees. How do your knees feel? Is there any sensation there to observe? Check in with your upper legs, the fronts and backs of the thighs. Is there comfort, discomfort, heaviness, lightness, coolness, warmth, or any other sensation? Check in your hips, your pelvis, your low back area. Notice your belly, your low belly. How does it feel? Move your awareness up into your chest, your heart, and your lungs. Check it in. How does it feel? Your shoulders. Your arms, your hands. Just observing. How does your middle back feel? Your upper back. Backs of shoulders. Give yourself a deep breath here, and as you exhale, let go of any effort. Bring your awareness to your neck. Notice how your neck feels. Your throat. And then your head. This can include anything, your eyes, your mouth, your nose, your ears. Check out any sensations or things to be aware of there. Give yourself another breath. Beautiful. When you're ready, you Slowly bend the knees one at a time. You can gently roll to the side. With helping hands, gently guide and walk yourself up. So we're just going to move into a restorative pose here. Your bolster will go at the foot of your mat. This is the restorative locust. We haven't done this one for a while. You'll need blocks at the front of the mat. It's a very gentle heart opener. You'll need, basically you've got one blanket and one towel fold, or 2 blankets if you have 2 blankets. So I'm going to use the towel fold or roll for under my forehead. I think I'll do sort of a roll like that height. You could also use a foam chip block if you've got those foam chip blocks at home. That's about the right height for under the forehead. And then the blanket roll is going to go under the pelvis. So we need to unfold our blanket to, I like this size to start with. And then I'm going to roll it widthways this way. And of course you can adjust the roll if it's too high. If it's too much, you can always unroll it part way. So this roll is going to go under the hip crease. So when we lay on our belly, it's going to go right underneath the place where the leg attaches to the body. We call that the hip crease. I already can tell that that's going to be a little bit high for me, so I'm just going to unroll it a little bit. So the blocks are going to go under the fronts of the shoulders at an angle. So a 45-degree angle is the most comfortable position when you lay down on your belly. You can have them on the low setting or the medium setting. It just depends on what's comfortable for you. And then we're going to ease down. We want the top of the curve of our foot on the bolster. And then we're going to aim that hip crease for the roll. So just adjusting, starting at the feet and walking your way up. Adjusting those blocks under the shoulders, arms beside the body, and then the forehead support with the towel fold or the foam chip block. And this can be a really nice release for shoulders if you hold tension in your upper back, your neck, or your shoulders. So palms of the hands are facing up. Wiggle around, make any adjustments you need to make this really comfy. Good. And then settling in, taking some ha breath, releasing a little bit with each exhale, letting go, sinking down. Make sure that there's symmetry in your props, so nothing is askew. You can invite the breath into the belly here. And as you exhale, letting out a sigh. Try to let yourself go. If there's any places of holding here, the shoulders or the jaw, Take a sigh and consciously commit to releasing anything that's being held. So just letting go into gravity, letting go, letting the supports of your props hold you. Give ourselves 3 ha breaths here, each one progressively letting go a little bit more. So big inhales through the nose and then a big sigh to let go. Another layer of release. Slowly, gently, and to deepen your breath, bend your arms, move the bolster down with your feet, you can lift the shoulders and pull the blocks away, and then just a little baby forearm push up here to gently lift up and come into a child's pose, just a momentary counter pose in child. Support the head, take a breath. Good, and then we're going to go ahead and we're just going to do one more pose tonight, which is the reclined butterfly. So we did this last week. There's so many benefits. It's my favorite pose. So we're going to make a ramp, my favorite restorative. It has so many all-purpose benefits to it. One of them being a benefit to our internal organs and nourishing our internal organs. And so you want to make sure that you've got something supporting underneath the knees, maybe 2 pillows of the same size or 2 blankets of the same size or 2 blocks underneath. Rolled up towels, whatever you have, but just making sure that it's symmetrical and even. And just setting up your situation and making yourself really comfy, and then laying back. Just checking that the palms are resting face up. If you've got the AC on in your house, you might want to pull a blanket over your hips or your whole body if it's a little cool or breezy. You don't want a cold wind blowing on you unless you're really, really hot. Softly closing our eyes, taking a nice deep inhale breath, and then a long sigh to exhale and sink down. One of the things that happens when we're in restorative and we relax deeply is the blood flows from the extremities back into the torso, where all our vital organs are. So that's why it's so restorative and rejuvenating to our body systems, to our heart, to our circulatory system, to our respiratory system. When we relax deeply, we come out of the active mode and into the passive, receptive, healing mode. So just taking your time as you breathe, let yourself soften with your exhale. Just feel the breath gently in the belly as you rest here. Resting the mind on the breath. No place to be, nothing to do. More than welcome to stay here for shavasana, or if your body craves to lay flat, slowly, gently stretch out the legs, roll to the side, and move your bolster. You might move it out back onto the knees if you want to. Come to laying flat on your back for shavasana. Taking the legs long. Stretching out, palms resting up to the sky. Eyes softly closed. Allow your body to inhale gently. Fully fill the lungs, and then exhale and let go. Let go through your arms and your legs, your feet and your hands. Let the feet and hands feel heavy. Soften through your belly. As you feel the gentle rise and fall of your breath. Soften around the eyes, the temples, the forehead. Soften around the mouth, the cheeks, the jaw, the throat, and the tongue. You can feel your teeth relaxing, your teeth and your gums. Know that your body is returning to a state of balance and equilibrium, homeostasis. Give yourself a few minutes here until you feel rested and complete. And then take your time as you move through the rest of your evening as you prepare for bed, mindful of your relaxed state, taking it with you, taking the calm with you. beautiful rest. May all beings be peaceful, happy, and free. Namaste.